Hey folks, it's August 21st. I'm 604 Comics and I've got my pull list for the week. Got some pretty decent books this week, so let's get started with DC as usual. We have, starting it off, Justice League Dark issue number 23. This is part 5 of the Trinity War. This is the penultimate issue before it all wraps up next week in Justice League. In Justice League of America last week, in part 4, we saw that the Justice League of America team members went and I guess they interrogated Dr. Psycho, and they found out that they thought he was the one that controlled Superman and made him kill Dr. Light, but it wasn't him, and he was just sent there as a distraction. And the team, they started to begin to think that maybe Amanda Waller was the one that put this whole thing all together. When they got there, the Outsiders set off a bomb, blew everything up. We also saw Lex Luthor, and we saw Wonder Woman. Pandora was going to give the box to Lex Luthor, but Wonder Woman came, and at the end she grabbed the box, and it left off at that. So I'm excited to see what happens with Wonder Woman and Pandora's box in this issue. So this was Justice League Dark issue number 23. Pretty long recap. Next is Batman Beyond Universe issue number 1. This is a digital first title, so I believe this compiles the first 3 digital issues of Batman Beyond Universe version 2.0. I've never watched the Batman Beyond cartoon. I've never read any of the previous comics. I know Terry McGinnis is the new Batman in the future under the mentor of Bruce Wayne, so that is my only knowledge going into this. I decided to pick this up because I thought it might be a fun book to read. I don't think there's a lot of fun DC books out there, so I picked this up. It's not in continuity, so I don't have to worry about remembering what happens, and I thought it'd be interesting to see a future take of Batman and the Justice League. So here is Batman Beyond issue number 1, Batman Beyond Universe, sorry. And it's a pretty thick book. I flipped through it in the stores, and I don't know, I'm looking forward to reading this. The next batch of DC books are kind of ho-hum books for me. I can drop them, I can keep reading them, doesn't really matter to me either way, but that just means I might drop it because I need to save some money these days. But here we have Green Lantern issue number 23, Green Lantern New Guardians issue number 23. I believe in the last issue we saw Relic, who's a super huge new villain that they've just created, and I guess he's gonna cause some trouble here with Kyle. This should be interesting to read a new villain, Relic. Next we have Supergirl issue number 23. We have Cyborg Superman, who's kind of causing a little bit of problems and messing around with Supergirl's mind. I was flipping through this issue in the store, so it should be interesting to see what that's about, but nothing really that interesting about this title right now, so I kind of wish it would go somewhere really soon. I'm also not familiar with Michael Allen Nelson. Is he a new writer? Has he always been writing Supergirl? I don't know. Next we have Red Hood and the Outlaws issue number 23. This is, I believe, the issue where we see Arsenal at the end of the last issue. Arsenal came, and I think he's going to try to rescue Jason Todd from the League of Assassins. And in this issue is just a continuation of that. Kind of hope this title picks up. If it still had awesome covers, then that might be one thing, but the covers are... Well, this one is still good. It's still not as great as they were right after Death of the Family. So this is Red Hood and the Outlaws issue number 23. Hoping it goes somewhere quick. And finally for DC, sadly this is another title that I'm grouping into the ho-hum category, Batwoman. Batwoman's been trying to get Batman for a while, and it just seems like a storyline that will never die, so this, I believe, is a continuation of that. J.H. Williams III is still doing the writing, but he's no longer on the art, and that was one of the great things about this title. His art Trevor McCarthy did a good job in this issue, although some of the past issues I haven't been a huge fan of, but Batwoman, I really hope it doesn't take a long time to tell the stories. I wish it was able to tell shorter stories in a shorter number of issues instead of these long drawn-out stories, because there seems to be a lot of filler, and when there's a lot of filler and there's not a lot of memorable moments, I tend to forget what happens, and that is when I tend to lose interest. But Batwoman 23, this has a longer leash than most titles. And there we go with all the DC titles. Next up we have 3 Marvel books, starting off with an incredible book, Daredevil issue number 30. Daredevil number 29 was my pick of the week when I got it last month, and this issue we see Silver Surfer. We don't really see Silver Surfer that much in the Marvel Universe these days. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's flying around on what looks like to be a very giant phallic object on this cover, but nevertheless, we have Daredevil issue number 30. Be interesting to see what Mark Waid does with Silver Surfer and what he's actually doing in this issue. Next up we have a title that I don't usually pick up. I picked up the last few issues because it was part of the Enemy Within crossover with Captain Marvel, but I'm gonna continue picking up Avengers Assemble. I'm a huge fan of Kelly Sue DeConnick, and I was enjoying this title. I'll see how it is as a standalone and not a crossover, but I have high hopes for this because it is a writer that I like, and it is a character that I have a deep affection for. Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, right there on the cover. So this is a Infinity tie-in, and we'll go from there, see if I enjoy this. And the last Marvel book I picked up this week was X-Men issue number 4. The first 3 issues was a short storyline. Jubilee has a kid, I believe, that she adopted from somewhere. So I think the kid is now part of the storyline, and this is the start of a new storyline. I don't know what the premise is, but looking forward to reading it. It started off pretty good, so I've got some good feelings about this series. And no Image titles this week, but I did pick up a Zenescope book. This is issue number 2 of Zenescope's Oz. This is cover A by Lashley. This is the Wicked Witch. I really enjoyed the first issue. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Oz fan, big Zenescope fan. When you put those two things together and you give me a book like this with covers that are just pretty, I'm going to be all over it. But this is also expanding on the Grown Fairy Tales universe. So there we go. August 21st, poll list for the week from 604 Comics. If you didn't enter my contest for my 400 subs, take a moment, make a video, and put a video response to that. You might have a chance to win the CGC comic. If you don't have the time, then throw in a comment. That should take about 10 seconds, but that is my blurb for my contest going on. And thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm going to have something posted on the weekend. I've got a brand new statue coming in, so look forward to that. And I will catch you guys all later. Ciao.